This game is made possible by Lincoln Electric System. Use LES to save more. Union Bank, you belong here. And Nebraska Wesleyan University, where experience is the difference. Your experience.
Hey there.
Welcome back to Able Stadium. Jeff Moats, Lucas Mormon, and our entire Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network crew with you this afternoon as we get ready for the second half. Nebraska Wesleyan only leading 7-0 over the Dordt College defenders. Brandon Axelman is our third member of our broadcast team today. Let's check in with him. He's down the sidelines with more. Brandon?
Guys, had a chance to talk to head coach Brian Keller coming out of halftime, and this is a team, as we mentioned, Dordt. They're 5-0 against them. They have not lost, and he said they've been playing all right, but they do have a lot of things they need to work on and do better. Defensively, he said defense is fine, but offense is where it really needs to get improved on, especially in their rushing game. He said Dordt's getting a lot of penetration from the backside, and they need to kind of cut off the backside because that's where they're kind of causing problems on the rushing game. So if they get that sealed off, allow the running game to work better. And he also said they've had the plays. The passing game has been there. Francis has just barely overthrown it, just a game of inches, as they say. So the plays are there is what he said, but they just need to execute and make things happen.
And that's a pretty good point to bring up. Obviously the ball, the passing offense looks very good. And in more cases than none, it seems like it's just timing.
Yeah, just a little high on a couple throws, but talk about blocking down that backside as you don't forget a couple one offensive lineman in particular out with an injury. But the rushing game has been tough to get going. Not a lot of yards on the ground in that first half for Nebraska Wesleyan, only 29 through one half of play.
Opening kick here, Brooks Earhart will let it go back into the end zone for an automatic touchback. First half stats. Kind of a quick rundown to show you here really quick to see how things stack up. And when you look at the overall numbers, there you see time of possession fairly even, but the advantage to Wesleyan. Total yards, 147 to 64. Passing, look at the passing or rushing yards, 40 compared to 29 for Wesleyan. Passing lopsided, 118 for Wesleyan, so it's been more of an air attack for Wesleyan than anything
no
else.
Turnovers there in the bottom line,
that's another
Jeff.
key stat. Neither team with any turnovers. Here's Bryant on 1st and 10 around left end and takes it to about the 32-yard line on the play, gets about a 7-yard pickup. But the turnovers, I mean, that's kind of the one stat that you would think by this point we'd have maybe one or two.
Well, and Wesleyan's so good usually at taking the ball away, whether it's an interception coming with a fumble, blocking a kick, something like that. And it showed last week. They were -4. They lost the game and didn't have an interception. And they're trying to get the play clock set here. But that time Bryant did get to the outside a little bit, a little more success. So see if they maybe attack the edges a little more with the pursuit coming from the backside to kind of eliminate that.
Weedle gets a handoff, first down for him, forced out of bounds across the 40. And they'll mark him at about the 41. Good pickup there for Weedle.
And again, off tackle, into the outside. Weedle, kind of a speedster, able to pick up yards, move the chains.
First down.
So now the ball at the Wesleyan 41 here as they come out of the gate here from halftime and try to spark some offense. Double wideouts near side here. Bryant gets the handoff. Through the middle he goes. Good little pickup for him, about 5 yards to the 46-yard line. Wesleyan offensively with the passing game. There you see the replay of the run from Bryant. The passing game, they should be exploiting the secondary from Dordt every time.
Especially in this 4-2 look. That was something they weren't sure what Dordt was going to come into the contest playing a 3-4 or a 4-2. And this time you see on second and short, they have everyone up in the boxes. Wesleyan brings out the extra lineman.
Now Jory Jones gets the carry. Jones picks up about 2 yards to the 48-yard line. Short by about 3 yards. You need to get to that Dordt 49-yard line at midfield. So now 3rd and 3.
That was one of those formations with extra offensive linemen. Last week against Concordia, they had 7 offensive linemen on the field at a lot of the time. And they also use one of their offensive linemen as an extra tight end. He's actually switched to number 95 this week just to make that happen. Again, a big set here.
Davis in motion, level the fullback to tailback Bryant. Fake toss, here is Francis, pass complete to Clausen. Gets the first down at the 48-yard line. Had the forward progress there. They'll move the yard markers downfield. Take a look at it again.
Good job. They try and fool you with that big formation, and they just lead Clausen out in the flat. That's worked a couple times in a couple different formations for them. They found Clausen all alone. Got just enough, maybe a yard more than what they needed for the first down. It moves the sticks, keeps things going. 7th first down in the or 8th first down.
So they'll go one receiver each side again. Handoff, Weedle through the line around left side. Inside the 45 to the 43.
Maybe a little more rhythm this drive offensively. Getting 4 or 5 yards on first down makes everything more manageable.
So we've seen a mix of the ground game and the air game from Wesleyan. That's pretty typical.
It is, and it's just fun to see the different formations they use to get the right people to the football. When they go big with 7 linemen or they go 3 wide, that time it didn't go anywhere. But
yep, loss of a yard back at the 44 for Weedle.
You know, one set you'll see 4 receivers wide for Nebraska Wesleyan, and Francis throws it on a little hook route. In the next set, you'll have 7 offensive linemen in there, and you either throw in the flat to Clausen or you open up a crease for Bryant or Jones or today Weedle. Coach Keller and his offensive coach is always very creative on how they utilize and get the ball to the right people. Keep everyone guessing. Again, 4-2 look from Dordt here.
3rd down, Francis, time in the pocket. Pass is over here, complete. Enough for a first down, but a flag thrown. Connor Zumpf makes the catch. But a flag on the play.
If it stands, that'll be the 4th catch of the afternoon for Zumpf. As they talk it over here. Take a look here, see if we can see. Not sure.
Is that a collar?
I don't know. That came in. Not sure where this
was it. Helmet to helmet contact?
Or if they're talking to Francis.
So it looks like it's against Dordt.
Maybe they wave
Hold it. Defense, number 44. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is first down.
I think maybe it was on the underneath receiver.
Watch this again.
It was on one of the receivers underneath trying to come through. I'm not sure where that one came in at, but either way, the result of the catch to Zumpf was better, so he has 4 catches on the afternoon as Bryant tries to bounce it to the outside.
Trying to cut outside, couldn't get out of there in time. Cole McLean at that defensive back spot makes a stop. About a yard pickup for Dustin Bryant.
I just think one of these times that Francis is going to uncork one deep, and I think that opportunity is there.
Dustin Bryant today has only got 7 yards rushing, at least in the first half, on 4 carries. So he has been very seldom used in the rushing department. He did have a catch earlier today for a big gain. In fact, 35 yards 4 times, as long as 26 on the afternoon. Here's Weedle on 2nd and 9. And he gets a short gain, about 2 on the play, down to the north 32-yard line.
You still almost get the feel, Jeff, that they're almost feeling some things out here, just trying to find what plays work. There's a little out of the shotgun, just a little zone trap on that left side, almost a counter play. They show one direction, go the other, but that rushing department, it's been tough sledding, and part of the reason is that guy right there, Applegate.
Larson the split far side, Zumpf and Davis are out to the right. Wings set up in the backfield. Francis over the middle, Davis with a catch at the 15, and he is going to be tackled and marked down at the 10-yard line of Dordt. It will be 1st and goal for the Prairie Wolves.
It was just a matter of time before Francis hooked up on a deeper pass pass play there. All alone was Davis. Good time, able to plant, throw.
Good catch from Davis.
Settled right down the middle of that zone. And they're right at the 10, so it will be first and goal. No chance for a first down here as Nebraska Wesleyan try to add to that lead.
Bryant gets a handoff. Takes it inside the 10, tackled at about the 7-yard line, about a 3-yard pickup for Dustin Bryant.
Again, Applegate in there on the tackle. He's going to be a good one for Dordt before it's all said and done. Having a nice game this afternoon. This is a great drive here for Nebraska Wesleyan. Remember, this was off the open in the third quarter.
So out of the I formation, Lovell and Bryant in that I. They'll move Clausen, the tight end, on the left side of the line. And off Bryant, gets behind a tackle, cuts inside of the 5, tackled at the 3-yard line of Dordt.
Good patient running by Bryant that time.
It's about a 5-yard pickup on the play.
Really followed his blockers, tried to find a crease. When he did, opened up, picked up 3 or 4 in the play. I almost feel like, again, this is 4-down territory for the Prairie Wolves.
Now timeout will be called. So the Prairie Wolves will take the timeout. 7:49 to go, third quarter. 7-0 Prairie Wolves on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
Hi, this is Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. Did you know that proper insulation levels can help reduce your heating and cooling costs? You can check your attic insulation level with this very advanced high-tech tool called a ruler. Make sure you have 14 to 16 inches of insulation for maximum energy efficiency. It'll help reduce drafts and allow your heating and cooling systems to not have to work so hard. Think of it as saving money by the inches, $1, $2, $3, you get the idea. For more ways to save, visit les.com today. See you next time.
7-0 is where we stand here. Third quarter of action, 7:49 to go. Jeff Moats, Lucas Mormon, Brandon Axemit, our entire Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network crew. Prairie Wolves dance team all bundled up, as are a few people here in Lincoln.
Yeah, it's only 7-0, Jeff, but it feels like Nebraska Wesleyan's almost been in control. And Dordt's never really threatened. And if you go up 2 scores here, you got to feel really good about this one.
Out of the eye, Bryant gets it, and at the point of attack, Dordt with a big stop. No gain, maybe about a loss of a yard back at the 4. And now 4th down coming up, and they're going to bring out the kicking unit. Here comes Aaron Lorraine. He'll try to attempt a field goal.
Make it a 2-score contest. Lorraine had 1 field goal last week in the loss. The 11 points, had 1 blocked as well.
So from the 11, it's a 21-yard chip shot attempt for Aaron Lorraine out of Millard West. Snap in the hold. The kick is up. That might have been partially tipped, and it goes no good. It was partially tipped, and Dordt gets a big stop on defense. That was huge.
Yeah, that was definitely, someone got a piece of it at the line, and all 3 of Lorraine's misses on the year have been blocked, and that one was a low kick from Lorraine. So the defenders turn away the Prairie Wolves.
And so they'll have it at their own 20-yard line to begin the next drive. And if you're Dordt, you see that as a big plus.
That's a huge win right there. I mean, that's a momentum changer. You can put together a drive now, get threatened on the scoring side of things.
Option and a handoff out to the 22-yard line. Short pickup on the play.
Well, and you just know it's going to be nothing fancy with Dordt. They're just going to keep hitting you with 3- and 4-yard runs, 2-yard runs until they pop one for 15 or 20 or a 25-yard runner that let loose on a big play, or maybe they hit you with a play action. We've seen 3 completions. It's been a slant and then 1 play action and another into the backfield. But you just have to, as Brandon said, he talked with Coach Doherty, they have to stay playing assignment football and not fall asleep.
Another option pitch. Defending. Tackle from behind. Spencer Fecht, and guess who? Taylor DeColsty.
Yeah, DeColsty had a heck of a first half. 8 tackles overall, 2.5 tackles for a loss, a sack. That's a good game line for a lot of people, and DeColsty did all that in the first half.
The flow offensively has not been up to par for Wesleyan today. I mean, we've seen them flow very well. It just seems like maybe the last couple of weeks have caught up with them. Newman in the pocket, breaks free for just a short period of time. Brandon Reeves.
Did the football come out there?
Well, it looked like they were grabbing for it. It might have been kept by Newman. And 4th down, so a 3 and out.
He does a good job avoiding the pressure here, even staying on his feet.
Look at that.
And he gets sandwiched by a host of Prairie Wolves. Be a nice time for a big special teams play, whether a block or a kick return. Had a shorter kick after that 62-yard punt earlier today.
Fair catch signaled by Wardeen at the 43-yard line, so Wesleyan gets it back here. 5:17 to go here in the 3rd quarter.
That may be the best starting field position of the afternoon for the Prairie Wolves, and they need to take advantage of it. Need to bounce back after that blocked field goal. As the wounded backfield back there of Francis and Bryant. Now, they've been effective. Bryant maybe a half step slow. It's just hard to tell.
Saw Lovell, he was out for 1 game earlier in the year. Play action. Francis downfield, and that's going to go incomplete. No flag thrown, and finally a late flag comes in.
I was going to say, if there wasn't a flag there was going to be something wrong, because Zump tried to run a post route.
And he got caught up.
And he just,
Cole McLean was the guy that was covering him,
yeah,
and McLean
just got tied up. Yeah, exactly. Wouldn't let him through. Take a look. Right there, just got tied up.
But what was interesting is the flag was thrown
very late
after the play was ruled dead.
And you saw Zump flying up over here. He had man coverage. You had a feeling they were going to try and go up top after the short punt and take advantage.
So 1st and 10 from the Dordt 42. Francis gives to Bryant. Bryant ahead from the 42 to the 39. A 3-yard gain for him on that play.
Again, Applegate in there on the tackle from that defensive end spot. A senior, 6'4", 240. And then on the other side, right next to him, you got Curtis Emery, 5'11", 260, and a freshman who's benefited from playing next to him.
So we'll see Earhart Davis split left. Zump here on the right. Got a slot on the left. Francis out of the gun. Near side. Zump, catch. Inside the 25, the 20, 10, 5. He's home. Touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan. 39-yard toss.
And he is your go-to guy if you're Tyler Francis. He makes things happen after the catch. Great catch here in traffic. Then the stiff arm to get away and just run away from the rest of the Dordt defenders.
And how much has his stock increased the last few games? Out of nowhere. Now Lorraine to attempt the extra point. Here it is. The kick is up. It is good. 4:24 to go. 3rd quarter. And the Prairie Wolves add on to the scoreboard. They lead at 14-0 over Dordt on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
Antiques, and my cousins race stock cars, and I kind of merged the two together to antique cars. Giving old stuff new life. I mean, that's the cool part.
I don't know what it is, digging in an old barn. I really like that. And then the finished product.
We just had accumulated enough projects that we really needed to expand. Union Bank helped us achieve the goal of having our own shop.
They made it easy.
So with 4:24 to go here in this third quarter, 39-yard touchdown pass from Tyler Francis to Connor Zumpf makes it 14-0 Nebraska Wesleyan.
A two-play, 57-yard drive along with a pass interference penalty in there. Zumpf adds to his total for the day. Again, the favorite target of Francis so far.
Here is Lorraine's kick. Deep boot. That's going to go sailing out of the end zone for a touchback. What a kick from Aaron Lorraine. Well, we talk about Connor Zumpf and being a big impact player the last few games for Nebraska Wesleyan. Let's send it down to Brandon Axement with more about Connor Zumpf.
Guys, as you mentioned, Zumpf, just a big playmaker for this Wesleyan offense. He's been leading the team in receptions the past 3 years. An interesting stat, he's a junior, but this is his first year playing football since high school. The last two years, he's been playing basketball for the Prairie Wolves, decided he wanted to suit it up, play football this year, and he just seems to be getting better as the year goes on. That was his second career touchdown, guys, his first. I think you remember it was when we were against Doane and he had that game-winning TD. That was his first ever, so he's definitely coming along, doing some big things for the Prairie Wolves.
Oh, no question. And you know, basketball players that play football,
Yeah.
a lot of times they're going to be playing wide receiver or a tight end spot.
I mean, the one that obviously comes to mind, Tony Gonzalez in the NFL, is a great basketball player, maybe one of the best tight ends ever, but translates well. Zumpf today, 5 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown.
2nd and 5 here for Dordt.
Broken play.
Broken play, they're going to keep it. And Newman had nowhere to go. It was broken already by the time Wesleyan got into the backfield. But to finish the thought about basketball players in football, I remember Wilson Thomas, who played at Nebraska. Wilson Thomas was a great high school basketball player at Omaha North and was recruited, but he went on to play, of course, football in Nebraska. But then later on, during his final 2 years of eligibility, he was also playing football and basketball down there.
Matt Davison played a little hoops when he was done
Matt
with football
Davison's
as well.
a prime example, too. Great high school player at Tecumseh, led him to a state championship his senior year. Good point guard for them. 3rd and 4. Pressure's on, and guess who it is again? The former Norris Titan, Taylor Tukolsky.
What a day for Taylor. This is just straight strength here. Gets by his man. Wraps him up. Another sack. 2nd of the day for Taylor.
Randy Moss, another good basketball player. Of course, went on to play in the NFL. Here's the boot. This one looking like it went off the side of the foot a little bit, but Wardine's there. He's going to break a couple of tackles, but he is quickly surrounded and stopped at the 46.
I think what's interesting to stay on the Zumpf thought about Connor is that usually it's the other way around. You come out, you play football, and then maybe you go back and play basketball for a while. He's been playing basketball for he hasn't played football since high school. A junior, 2 years out, says, hey, let's throw the pads back on, try and go at it again. And obviously a talented athlete.
But how many?
Interesting that he went that route rather than maybe the other.
But how many guys do you see in college athletics at all different levels that are multi-sport athletes?
Yeah, at the NAI in Division
rare.
II, maybe a little more. You might have a guy that plays football and runs some track or something like that, or throws for track, but not often. There's some good tough yards up the middle.
You know, good pickup there from Dustin Bryant, but people are probably more familiar with guys like Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders that, played baseball and football, that, both at the college and professional level. But anymore,
It's rare.
even kids at the high school level, you don't see a lot of kids in high school going out for more than one sport.
Or at least not maybe being the standout at each.
Right. Very seldom. Here's Francis. Swing pass. Complete to Bryant. And Bryant's going to be forced down around the 46-yard line. But guys like Tyler Francis, he was a three-sport athlete at Northeast High School.
So there's a little slow to get up with Bryant. I think you see it more on the smaller levels, the C1, C2 through D2 level.
You know, there's going to be some Class A, schools where, again, Francis, for example, played football and basketball and baseball at Northeast. A lot of guys, if they go three sports, it's usually football, basketball, and then it's split between either baseball or track.
And we watch for a draw play. Nope, quick slant.
Here's a catch. Oh, it was incomplete. Earhart. And boy,
he might have been off to the races, and I think that might have been what was going through his head. He
knew he had the ball in his grasp.
And he had a lot of green in front of him. Nice play call. Just a very quick slant.
Take a look at that right there.
He had really that one man to beat. That probably would have been it.
Here comes Kelby Vandenberg. He's been out there a few times today.
Pin him inside the 20 so far twice today.
Yep. Here's the boot. Have a knuckleball looking punt. Goes out of bounds inside the 15. Let's see where they spot it. At the 14. So 45 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and Dordt will take over at their own 14-yard line.
And their yards per play, I mean, it's right at about 3.5. I mean, right around 3 to 3.5 yards per play. And in your head, that equates to, you're getting a first down, but it's just been tough sledding. It's been a 5-yard pickup here, 6 yards there, and then a -4 here. There's a bobbled snap.
And there you see Corey Kundal in there in the backfield
for that sack.
Make the stop as Newman has just had kind of a rough afternoon.
You said no flow earlier when you talked about the Wesleyan offense, and I think that's kind of here. That was just right through the hands. Just the same with the defenders. They just haven't found a rhythm. And an option team, you kind of have to find that rhythm, and the Wesleyan defense has been doing a good job of breaking things up. Now it looks like maybe they're going to let it run down.
Yeah. They'll let the time run out here as we conclude the third quarter. And Nebraska Wesleyan picks up another 7. They now lead at 14-0 over Dordt. Stay tuned. The fourth quarter is coming up after this.
It's so great that the parks are tobacco-free zones now.
I know it's so much cleaner and healthier for the kids.
Yeah, I agree.
Excuse me, ma'am. Would you mind not smoking so close to the park? It's a tobacco-free playground. Thank you.
Play cleaner.
Play healthier. Play tobacco-free. Juega libre tobacco. Play tobacco-free.
System knows you are busy, and we appreciate your help as we replace your indoor water meters. First, look for a door hanger with your appointment time. Make sure an adult will be present. Allow easy access to the meter, and make sure the technician is wearing a Lincoln Water System uniform and carrying ID. The free replacement takes only about 20 minutes. For more information, call 402-441-1500 or visit water.lincoln.ne.gov.
Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network coverage of Nebraska Wesleyan football. We begin the fourth quarter, 14-0 our score in favor of the Prairie Wolves. And now Dordt will have it second and long at their own 9. And here is a handoff, and not much of a gain, but toward the original line of scrimmage, almost there to about the 13. Brandon Axemit's been roving the sidelines this afternoon. Let's check back in with him once again. Brandon?
Yeah, just talking a little bit about this Dordt team. You mentioned their football program is fairly new to the GPAC, and they're still trying to build the program. They have already matched their season high total with 2 wins thus far. Looking to get their 3rd here today, but Nebraska Wesleyan has other plans, obviously. They've shut the Dordt defenders out 3 of the 5 times they played, and they have the shutout still intact for 4 of the 6 times. We'll have to see if they can hold that here.
Meanwhile, Fendig is tripped up on the play by Eric Richards on the far sideline. And will bring up 4th down, and the punting unit will come out. But you look at the scoring margin right now, Lucas, 14-0 is where we stand. You go back over this series history, and the average has been 32-5 Wesleyan over Dordt. And well below that average today.
Well, that's right, but at the same time, I think you feel pretty safe with that 14-point lead. Dordt having a hard time even getting under the Nebraska Wesleyan side of the field.
And now Dordt calls timeout. So with 13:39, we'll step aside with them. 14-0 Wesleyan on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
Lincoln Water System knows you are busy, and we appreciate your help as we replace your indoor water meters. First, look for a door hanger with your appointment time. Make sure an adult will be present. Allow easy access to the meter, and make sure the technician is wearing a Lincoln Water System uniform and carrying ID. The free replacement takes only about 20 minutes. For more information, call 402-441-1500 or visit water.lincoln.ne.gov.
13:39 to go in this one. 4th down coming up here for Dordt. And they will punt away here to Nebraska Wesleyan. And it will be Heath Bonestrue. Rugby-style punt goes off the side of his foot. That thing goes straight up and down at the 49, bounces back, and will be marked down at the Dordt 48-yard line. That's where Wesleyan will start.
Again, short field for Nebraska Wesleyan. They took advantage last drive, 2 plays, 57 yards.
Weedle.
They need to go 48 yards this time.
Weedle the tailback. Francis under center. Stack that offensive line. And off Weedle. Cuts through inside the 40. Tripped up. Looks like he got the first down. Yep, he did. Down to the 37-yard line. An 11-yard pickup on the play for Weedle.
Good job using his speed. Got a block on the outside. They've had probably the most success on the ground, on the corners, off tackle.
Ball at the 36. Kind of match up on that line a little bit, both sides. Francis out of the gun. Has time to throw over the middle. Pass is complete to Davis. And a first down inside the 20 at the 19.
Another sharp throw from Francis here. Was able to set his feet in the pocket, survey things, step into it, put it right where it had to be.
Good play.
Davis just settled in front of that safety coming across the face. He's had a couple catches in that vicinity this afternoon. Now they go with that big double tight package.
Francis. Weedle again around left side, inside the 20. Forced out of bounds, close to the 16. So about a pickup of 3. Again, the type of tempo that we're used to seeing from this offense.
Just a little bit more of a flow to it.
Davis and Zump split to the right. And it's Joey Jones who gets the carry, takes it to the 15, maybe about a yard, and that's it. That's all he got.
Kind of ran right into the blitz of the defenders. They haven't blitzed a lot today. Out of that 4-2, they tend not to. They've also showed a lot of 3-4 this year. And when they run that 3-4, then they do tend to blitz fairly often, according to Coach Kroom. But we've seen a lot of 4-2 today. But that time they did bring a blitz out of it. They brought a safety. And unfortunately, it was right where the Prairie Wolves ran to.
Now Jones in the backfield with Francis. Francis looking to throw over the middle, and it goes incomplete. Curtis Danik was the intended target.
That was into some traffic that time. Francis tried to fit it into a pretty tight window there, and instead we'll see the leg of Lorraine as he couldn't convert there on 3rd down.
The last time we saw Lorraine for a field goal attempt, it was a 21-yard attempt that was tipped and missed. They'll spot him from about the 22, so a 32-yard attempt right down the middle. Here's the snap and the hold. The kick is blocked again. He goes out of bounds.
I think the block that time, I want to say, it looked like it was Derek David, or excuse me, Rockland Mao. Just right up the middle, just jumped up, got a piece of it. Not sure. Looks like we're going to have a different quarterback.
Well, it looks like maybe it might have been Dash DeGroot, a 6'10", 213-pound junior.
It could have been.
Because they were
the numbers for Dordt. It's a little halftime press box conversation. Very hard to read, that silver with the black outline. That's a stat person's nightmares. Now we see a new quarterback into the game.
Ross Schur is the new quarterback. And he throws an interception to Richards at the 32. Down the far sideline, Richards is finally knocked out of bounds inside the 5-yard line.
Well, that's not how you want to start if you come into the game. They brought him in apparently to do a little bit more passing. That time, Richards said, "Thank you, please." More of that. Just miscommunication there, busted route or something. Richards brings it back, finally out of bounds, as there was no Dordt receiver in the area.
So 1st and goal here for Wesleyan. Offense didn't stay out for very long, and now they're back in.
And that was the first pass attempt on the year for sure.
Kreinert in that fullback spot. Handoff given to Jones. Jones finds his way in toward the middle, gets into the end zone for the touchdown. And instead of Jones, Austin Ruskamp was the guy that was the ball carrier. Take a look at this. Ruskamp with a cut. Back in he goes. So
Good
Austin
change of
Ruskamp
direction.
gets the 6. Look at that.
Peace of mind. All I had to do is cross the plane, stuck the ball in there. Lorraine okay on extra points. Hasn't been so gracious on field goals.
Kick is up, and it is good. 11:13 to go. Nebraska Wesleyan extends their lead now, 21-0 on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. Did you know that for every degree you set your thermostat below 68 in the wintertime, you can save 3 to 5% on your heating costs? 3 to 5%. As some people might say, that's hot. Check us out at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube for even more energy-saving tips like this one. See you next time.
Austin Ruskamp with a short touchdown run to the end zone extends Nebraska Wesleyan's lead to 21-0 on a gorgeous Saturday afternoon in Lincoln. Slightly cool. Kickoff temp was about 56 degrees. They were talking of a high around 60 this afternoon here in Lincoln with a little bit of a breeze coming in from the south, so it's going to make it feel cooler. And now Lorraine's kick goes deep and into the end zone on the other side for a touchback.
See who comes back out there at quarterback for the defenders.
May see Newman back out there, but in this,
nope,
they're going to go with Schur.
Ross Schur, and you look at their season stats. He does not show up on their passing stats, so he had not attempted a pass.
He's a freshman, and now they go on a handoff around right side.
Fumble.
Kenneth Lewis fumbles the football, but they're going to mark him out of bounds. He coughed the ball up and it went out. So 2nd down here is Lewis takes it to the 29-yard line on a 4-yard gain. Watch this again. Got sandwiched in between there on that play.
Dordt recovers out of bounds. Brings up second and 6.
So 11 minutes to go in this one. Sure in motion, or sends a guy in motion. Drop back pass is bobbled and goes complete at the 35, and it looks like it's enough for a first down.
Well, obviously they're a little more confident in the arm.
Daryl Van Grout made the catch.
Bobbled it, but able to haul it in amid traffic. 3 Prairie Wolves around him.
And number 54, Brandon Reeves, brings up the Dordt first down.
So 1st and 10 from the 35 coming up.
Has more of a shotgun look here. So sure, obviously had maybe his own package here. This works out of the pistol. Straight ahead handoff.
Newman gets it, or rather Manuel gets it. And tackled at about the 42-yard line.
If Manuel gets those legs churning, he can be a beast to bring down. 6'2", 240.
1 point over 300 yards rushing, I believe, on the season. And has been held quiet as they work out of that pistol. And it is Manuel who gets it again, and he's going to be forced for a loss of yards. But I think they'll say no gain on the play, still at the 42-yard line.
And Corey Kundal just stuffed that one up. He might not get credit for the tackle, but right over the center, and he just pushed the center right back into the ball carrier. Allowed Latimer and company to come and finish things up.
Play action. Latimer in pursuit. Here's a lob up in the air. Goes nowhere. Incomplete. Nothing but green space. No intended target anywhere close by.
Well, he just had to get rid of that, or it was going to be another sack. And I imagine it's 4-down territory the rest of the way here, trailing 3 scores with 9:17 left.
Now, if you want to try to score, you go for it. You don't try to boot away.
Nice change of pace with the backup quarterback, though.
Well, we were seeing that wing formation. Now we see a pistol offense.
Yeah, something completely different.
So sure.
There's a flag, and like I say, motion.
False start. Number 27 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
You talk about Sure, and he wasn't even on the 2 deep.
No, in fact, looking at the 2 deep,
Brings up a 4th and 8 for Dordt.
Micah Twiddell was the guy that was the backup. He's a sophomore. Get a no huddle. Everybody looking at their wrists. They got the plays on their wrists. So 4th down here. They'll still go for it out of that pistol formation. Sure looking to throw. And he is taken down. And it's Phil Latimer.
Phil Latimer with the sack, and that all came from an outstanding swim move right at the point of attack. Just went right by his defender, and then he had him in his sights.
And that will put the football for Wesleyan at the 24 of Dordt.
It was a great swim move up front by Latimer. Went inside, a little fake, spun to the outside, and then it was open season on Dordt defender quarterback.
Here's a toss. Ruskamp, halfback toss downfield, going to be underthrown incomplete. And Ryan Larson was wide open with nobody around him. He was all alone. All he had to do was probably march 6 yards into the end zone, and he would have been home free.
A little razzle-dazzle here in the.
Well, it was worth a shot.
Yeah, it was there. Just kind of got clogged up in the backfield, muddied up. The defenders got some penetration and didn't give. When you're not used to throwing a pass, you need a pretty clear path of. What do we got here? Some whistles. Clear path, and feel pretty confident about setting your feet. I think maybe the clock was running.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to fix either the play clock or the game clock. Let's see. You remember in the Dome game 2 weeks ago, we had to stop the game because somebody had their headlights on the south end zone parking lot.
Now they reset the play clock.
I think that's what they're doing, resetting the play clock.
I think we're going to put some time back, too, maybe.
Please put 850 on the game clock.
It was an incomplete pass. I don't think they got the clock stopped. Yeah, we had headlights disrupting the flow 2 weeks ago.
I think that's a first I've seen in all levels of football. 2nd and 10 here for Francis. Looks to the far side. There's Zumpf again, makes the catch. And they're going to mark him at the 1 yard line. What a grab.
And Zumpf is just causing confusion in the secondary for the the defenders.
What a play.
Cameron Petrie, he doesn't know what. He looks over to the sideline after the play. He was the corner over there. He was trailing it. He thought he had help over the top. The help was late getting there. Zumpf just able to go up and get it. Brings up 1st and goal.
Francis gives to Ruskamp. Tries to dive in, puts the ball in the end zone for another touchdown, his 2nd one of the afternoon. So Austin Ruskamp comes in and he picks up 2 touchdowns. And the Prairie Wolves are now leading at 27-0 with the point after coming up.
Has a nose for the end zone, able to stretch that ball out there again, just across the plane on both touchdowns.
There you see it again, and boy, he just stretched that ball right across the line. The kick here from Aaron Lorraine is good. 8 minutes, 18 seconds to go in this game. It's 28-0 Nebraska Wesleyan on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
Thank you for supporting Lincoln Cares. By voluntarily adding $1 each month to your Lincoln Electric System bill, you've helped improve parks programs and facilities across the city. Now your dollar goes even further. Lincoln Cares has been expanded to support not just parks, but also libraries and programs for older adults. And your donations are matched by community partners. See how much more $1 can do. Visit LincolnCares.org.
This is just 2 weeks ago. This is the game-winning touchdown that Tyler Francis threw to Connor Zumpf against Doane that gave the Prairie Wolves the 20-19 upset over Doane, again 2 weeks ago. And that really put Connor Zumpf on the map. We saw him a little bit before this game, but since then he's been kind of the hot commodity when they look to throw the football.
Yeah, last 3 weeks he's been the top receiver receptions-wise. Obviously had the big touchdown against Doane.
Lorraine's end-over-end kick. And Fenning slides in after making the catch. Had no chance to run or anything. He just slid right at the 21-yard line.
Fenning's had kind of a rough day in the return game. That time slips. He had a punt that he was going to not field that bounced right to him, and he's kind of forced to return. Then he had the one he misread on a kickoff that stopped. He thought it was going to bound out of the end zone. It just kind of died right in front of him, and it was a live football. Yeah, Zumpf today, 6 catches, 89 yards, touchdown, right at 15 yards per catch.
And it looks like Manuel took the handoff that time here for Dordt. 8 minutes to go in this one. And now a 28-0 lead. We were stuck at 7-0 for a while. And then bam.
It's kind of been the story this season. It seems like Wesley is maybe takes a little bit to get things throttled up and running. They've scored the fourth quarter by far their most productive. Is
Sure looking to throw to Van Groh. It goes incomplete. It could have been picked too.
Okay, you talked about how we were tied at 7-0 at half, and here for a while. Wesleyan on the season, 13 points in the first and second quarter, 17 in the third, and then 49 in the fourth quarter of play. So they've done their damage in that final frame.
So 3rd and 8.
See a few new faces up front.
Schur's pass is caught at the 30, short of the first down. And reception made by Sam Verholst. So 4th down here, and you got a yard to go. And I think you're right, Lucas. From here on out, every 4th down that Dordt has, they're going to go for it. You almost have to. You want to avoid the shutout here with 7 minutes and counting. Here's Manuel. Manuel takes it ahead, gets the first down, and picks up about 4 extra yards up to the 35.
Sean Lindgren in there on the defensive front for Nebraska Wesleyan, and he was just victim of a cut block by the defenders, and that's something that they worked on. Nebraska Wesleyan did earlier this week in practice is live cut blocks, because that's a lot of what Doane does in that option game. That time it wasn't an option. Here's another pass incomplete, but you don't see it a lot by offensive linemen, but they do use it, so they practice live against it this week as much to get used to knowing how to take one and not pick up an injury as they did to learn how to defend it and play against it, but almost as much as to avoid the injury.
Brandon Axelman is standing by down on the sidelines. Let's head down to him really quick.
Guys, we know about this Prairie Wolf defensive unit and how strong they are. They're 3rd in the GPAC in total defense allowed, and they've only given up over 20 points a game once all season, and that was against Northwestern. And here today, it looks like they're looking for their first shutout of the year, and they only average giving up 18 points a game. They're well on their way to a win. We'll just see if they get that first shutout.
And that could really boost the confidence even more.
Well, and as a defense, if you've come this long, you got 6:25 left, you got 0 on the board.
Yeah.
I see a few faces in there. There's Lindgren, as I said, getting some playing time up front as well. But now that's kind of okay, you got the game in hand. Well, now it's the game within the game. The defense, I know, wants to pitch the shutout. I mean, it's always fun to hang the goose egg up there.
So 3rd and 10. Looking to throw. Pass up in the air, incomplete. Coverage that time, Aaron Bainey on Bullhurst. The one thing we want to talk about this series, the first 3 meetings, Wesleyan picked up shutouts. Since then, they have outscored Dordt 103-19 coming into this game today. And if they can hold on for the shutout, that'd be the 4th one of this short-lived series. Here's the punt, high spiraling kick. Wardine's there at the 16. He's going to take it on the run. He cuts back to the left. Back around the 20, and he's tackled at about the 24. That's where Wesleyan will have the football. But 4 out of 6 times you pick up a shutout. It's not bad in a series, but again, Dordt's only had a football team since about 2008.
It is. I mean, 6 years now, though. At what point, I guess, does that become a non-factor? I mean, it's always going to be a little bit of a factor because you're still building your tradition and your program and whatnot, but you have to get your name out there. But 6 years in, I mean, you're on your 2nd head coach now. At some point, you have to stop blaming the fact that you just started a football program and find a way to fight through and make something positive happen, as there's a tough run up the middle.
Joey Jones, the ball carrier, a new quarterback in for Nebraska Wesleyan, and Zach Thorpe, 5'8", 190 freshman. So Thorpe comes in.
Thorpe had to come in the 4th quarter last week when Francis went down. So good to get him some snaps here in case something similar happens, especially with that knee already a little suspect of Francis. Even though you have a bye week to rest up, it's good to have someone in some game experience.
Here is another handoff, ball carried up to the 34-yard line. Looks like maybe another first down or close to it.
And some will argue, well, what kind of game experience is coming in, turning around, and handing off to your running backs? But there's more to be said for it than not. It's just getting those jitters worked out.
Repetition.
Exactly.
Now the other thing too, you got the bye week, as you said, coming up next week. That'll allow some guys to heal up a little bit and get ready to hit the road to go to Dakota Wesleyan.
And Wesleyan's been playing very well as of late. They beat Doane by a 2-score margin last week.
Go to South Dakota there to take on Dakota Wesleyan.
That's good for
And
Nebraska.
on November
Wesleyan,
2nd
third
of all days, that time of the year, you get really colder weather up in that area. Always a threat of snow at that time of the year, too. And so some time to prepare. As Thorpe works out of the shotgun here on 1st and 10. Has some time, he's going to keep it, but he is sandwiched up and tackled for a loss of yards back at the 36. But the final stretch will begin with Dakota Wesleyan in that road game. Final road trip of the year for the Prairie Wolves. Back here for Midland on November 9th and for Hastings on November 16th.
Yeah, nice to end with 2 home games. And that first half of the season was loaded with your quote-unquote top-tier team. So good chance to close out the season on a positive note.
Jones around right side on 2nd down. He's going to be tripped up on the play. Good stop.
Nice play by
Cameron Petrie, rather. Cameron Petrie with the tackle. So 3rd and long. The clock continues to wind down with 3:30 to go. So some good things happening here. It took a while for things to get going here for Wesleyan's offense. But when you're trying to battle through injuries.
You're down 1 man on the offensive line. And we haven't seen a lot of Bryant here in the second half, and for good reason. Rest him up a little.
Thorpe's pass over the middle, intercepted. Picked off here. And it's picked off on the play by Jake Atkinson, who returns it all the way down into Wesleyan territory at the 33-yard line.
I thought that maybe he was going to have a nice completion. He just put a little too much air underneath it. Playing center field back there. Able to come over from the safety spot and help. A little more zip on that one. Get it in there a little earlier or go over the top. Put it only where your receiver can get it. So the first turnover of the day, or not the first turnover of the day, but first Wesleyan turnover of the day is through the air.
Manuel is going to be stopped on the play. Zach Stover coming in to make the tackle. Right now, Dordt's in a situation where they want to avoid a shutout. Last week,
yeah, especially after coming off last week.
You know, last week they picked up that 56-27 win over Trinity Bible.
Most points they've scored in school history.
Spinning in motion. There's a toss from Sure. It is incomplete.
A couple of vastly different defenses, though, when you're talking about the defense they won against last week and Trinity Bible and this week against the Prairie Wolves.
Andy Fedoris for Nebraska Wesleyan breaks up the pass play that time. Intended target was Sam Burfolst for Dordt. So 3rd and 10 here from the Wesleyan 33. Still in that pistol formation. Ross Schroer. Penalty flag thrown. Fending gets the handoff as he goes around left side. Still on his feet. Finally tackled inside the 20-yard line. But the flags come out. And this will likely come back.
Yep, legal shift.
So legal shift against Dordt.
On what might have been their biggest gainer of the day.
Flag on the play.
Illegal motion, number 8, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
So 3rd and long as they back it up. And they'll put it close to the 39-yard line. Just over 2 minutes to go here. We hope to catch up with head coach Brian Keller here after the game. We'll work on that. 3rd and long. Sure. Pursuit is on. Pass is complete. Not enough, though, for a first down. They'll spot the ball at the 27. But not enough for a first down, but it's 4th down, and Dordt simply has got to go for it.
I mean, the only other option is to throw in the catch. I mean, the only other option is to bring your field goal kicker out, maybe try and get the goose egg off, but it does you no good. Their field goal kickers only attempted 4 field goals on the year.
Pass play is bobbled and caught, and enough for a first down, but another flag on the field. Gerald Van Groe. The catch.
I think it might be against Dordt again. Looks to be.
Here's the word.
Illegal motion, number 27 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, previous spot, remains 4th down.
So Aaron Francis moved illegally in that setup, and so.
Well, you can't shoot yourself in the foot. We've had back-to-back penalties, illegal shifts, or motion, and you've probably negated your longest play for scrimmage, and then a first down catch.
Schroer's pass up in the air. That's a tip drill, and it goes incomplete.
That was Mr. Latimer introducing himself to Schroer. Ty, 2-time defensive GPAC player of the week. Have we met?
Yeah. And don't forget the NAIA National Player of the Week. So we're down to 1:09 here in the game.
Couple of victory formations or some straight ahead handoffs here. I don't see Dordt trying to prolong this one.
And Jones will get the carry. Spins out of a tackle, takes it from the 32 to about the 38. Gets a 6-yard gain here. We're under 1 minute and counting. And this would be the time to maybe try to get it set up in a victory formation or close to it.
One more snap should do it here. Should be the final play of the game.
Yeah. Play clock at 20, game clock at 40 now.
A good bounce back win and a good spot on the schedule for them to get healed up. Dordt this week, rest a few guys here in the second half, and the bye week next week.
Jones with a carry, and they're going to give him about another yard of the play to the 38. Down to 20 seconds and counting here. And the Prairie Wolves, after suffering that tough road loss at Concordia last week, bounce back here at home this week, and they will pick up their 4th shutout against the Dordt Defenders as time expires. Your final, Nebraska Wesleyan 28 and Dordt College nothing.
Wesleyan 28, Dordt 0.
Brandon Axeman is standing by, and we'll look to get a word in with head coach Brian Keller here if we can. As Brandon works his way out toward the field. But a good job here in the second half, especially for the Prairie Wolves. And it looks like Brandon will be meeting up here with Coach Keller coming up in a quick moment. Let's send it to a break. Come back after this 30-second timeout.
Hi, I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy. Did you know that for every degree you set your thermostat below 68 in the wintertime, you can save 3 to 5% on your heating costs? 3 to 5%. As some people might say, that's hot. Check us out at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube for even more energy-saving tips like this one. See you next time.
Let's go down to the field. Here is Brandon Axeman with head coach Brian Keller. Brandon?
Coach Brian Keller, he had a great game. You were a little nervous, not nervous, but you know, after the first half, you wanted to see some improvements. Scored 21 points in that second half. Talk about your team's performance.
Well, I think we're a team that's been a pretty much a second half team all year. You know, the guys hung in there. They knew what we were doing was right. You know, we just maybe dropped the ball or just maybe overthrew a little bit or missed just one block. So those things kind of came together here the second half and played well.
Had a tough loss against Concordia last week. How big is it to come back at home this week and get a big win?
Well, yeah, they're all big, but it's great now. We got a win. Now we're going to the bye week, so we can feel good about this for a couple weeks and just focus on Dakota Wesleyan.
A great performance by your defense, posting the first shutout of the year.
Yep, they do a great job, and we knew we kind of matched up pretty well, so this was a good game for us.
Coach, congrats on the win.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Yep. Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
All righty, there you have it. Head coach Brian Keller. Pretty subdued, so to speak, after the victory today. But, of course, he is looking forward to getting this bye week underway because injuries need to be healed up. A lot of guys need to recoup a little bit here before they hit the road and go up to Dakota Wesleyan November 2nd and then finish out the season here with 2 straight home games. But a great performance here in the second half.
Yeah, great time to bounce back with that victory and then close it out here strong at home after hopefully heading up to Dakota Wesleyan and picking up a win.
So the final today, Nebraska Wesleyan 28, Dordt College nothing. For Brandon Axamit, for Lucas Mormon, and our entire Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network crew, I'm Jeff Moats. Saying so long, thanks for watching. Good afternoon from Able Stadium in Lincoln.
Today's Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network telecast was made possible by Lincoln Electric System. Use LES to save more. Union Bank, you belong here. And Nebraska Wesleyan University.